right back because I desperately need coffee.
I brewed up a pot just before we started.
Kelsey and I went to Dutch Brothers this morning.
So jealous.
Of Dutch Brothers?
I love Dutch Brothers coffee.
I mean, Dutch Brothers is pretty fantastic.
There's another one I've never heard of.
There 3 years ago.
Yeah, Dutch Brothers is a West Coast coffee thing.
I thought Starbucks was the West Coast coffee.
Starbucks is the world coffee. Dutch Brothers is here.
Dutch Brothers is like what Starbucks used to be when it first started.
Yeah, it's like there's only like 4 different coffees. That's it. Simple. You have to know about the million creams and sugars and everything else.
The puppuccino or whatever.
That's Starbucks. Or just Dutch Brothers have it too. I don't know. I've only been to Dutch Brothers once.
Do I have to be Jeff? I hate how right that is.
Back to that.
Yeah, that was the easiest one for me, I have to admit, Nick.
I don't want to be Jeff. I get it, but I don't want to be Jeff. Jeff Winger is like one of my least favorite Community characters, and Community is my favorite show.
You think I want to be Pierce?
Fair. You don't have to be Pierce. You could be Hickey. You could be Buzz Hickey.
I'm not sure that's a lot better.
Hickey's at least not racist and a bigot.
Well,
you know,
true.
he's got his gay son. You know,
that's why I was very clear about only for the reasons specified.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you could be Hickey, but still the token old guy who is cool, right? Like, Hickey's just cool. He doesn't have to try to be cool.
Sure.
And that's why Amanda can be Frankie.
Yeah. See, I got a little worried when I was like, okay, who would like Rachel and Summer and Amanda be? I was like, this could go so wrong.
Amanda does fit Shirley just for the mom aspect, so you're right there. Is Amanda religious? I don't know.
No.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I read tarot cards. I don't think Jesus would, smile upon that.
Why not?
I don't know. I just have a feeling. I mean, he probably wouldn't mind, but the church might mind. To be fair.
Yeah, it's very important. It's very important you separate
people Christian?
What he's supposed to do and what the church has been doing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Roma people are mostly Christians, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like, especially Orthodox and Catholic, there's very much like a tradition of sacred objects and relics and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure tarot cards come from a Christian tradition.
They do.
Hi, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Kind of like how Christmas came from a pagan tradition. Like it's one of those things that was like around and then it got adopted to make Christianity more popular.
You guys seem to really like this holiday. Can we have it too?
Well, basically, it's like you guys seem to really like this holiday. Therefore, hey, it's our holiday too. Therefore, you can belong to our church.
But no more dancing naked.
Oh my gosh.
Who would like to attempt to fill Nick in on what he missed out on?
I did my best. I tried to lay it all out.
I feel like I want it from everybody's perspective, like one at a time.
Look, I really hate to tell you, I'm not sure you're going to get a coherent story from anyone else's perspective.
Let's really fill in this brownout, shall we?
Okay, I will. I'm going back to my notes, and I'm trying.
Yeah, you can read my notes.
I saw those notes you posted. How do you even get anything coherent from it?
There was a word.
There were some words there.
Words there.
I saw it.
I think I remember the last session pretty well.
Oh, well, I'm glad you two do. Fuck me. I told Ryan that Nari must have ingested something and was definitely not herself.
Dreamberries.
It must have been the explosions.
The explosions she continuously set off.
Ate something she shouldn't have in the Arboretum.
So here's what I've got. We picked up at the Arboretum. The fight was over. We started by interrogating the remaining Fofrites. And we got through most of the interrogation. They really didn't have anything to add. They didn't necessarily know a whole lot more than what we kind of already suspected. And
They
there may
did
have
fill
been
the party in on that they weren't a part of the kidnapping. That was something that was happening that they didn't know about.
Yeah, they didn't know about the kids.
And they were, I'm pretty sure they mentioned that like Verrader was a little bit off his rocker recently.
And he'd been like doing his patrols by himself and everything. He didn't want anybody else there to like slow him down.
Do we know why?
No.
No, I'm pretty sure Verrader had a plan that fell through, and then this was his like backup plan, or I guess last ditch effort.
And these
His
are all
plan
good questions to ask
do
Verrader.
what?
We don't know.
And they didn't either.
We killed Duncan.
Yep. He's
Duncan's a pile of ash.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Even his corpse won't be very chatty.
No, it won't.
I mean, I can bring him back to life.
While that was going on, Zara went over and was like chopping the fingers off of Verrader's hand so he could never fire a bow again, just in case he somehow magically came back to life.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, she was going through it.
Yeah, she was committed to this. I don't know how much the alcohol played into that, but she was really committed to it. And then I know the alcohol contributed to this one because Nari started running around to the barrels that had the kids in them.
I really thought I could do it, guys.
And she had tried to disarm the first one, and it failed.
So instead of just getting the kids out of the barrels,
No, they were locked and trapped.
Yeah.
So in attempting to unlock the barrels, Nari triggered.
I was trying to
even successfully.
But instead of waiting on Zara to go around and pick the lock,
Zara was really busy with her thing.
she kept insisting on doing it herself, tripping every single one of the traps, causing the barrels to go into a countdown to explode, and giving Callum and Thule just enough time to get either the kids out or the barrels away before they blew up.
Thule did get one out, but might have given the kid a concussion on accident.
That's a thing.
I mean, they're alive. I'll take the concussion.
Right? I think I kind of saved them.
Callum got blown up once.
Or even because you blew up Kevin once.
My question was, how much of the Arboretum got blown up?
Oh, not a lot.
Ryan didn't really describe a whole lot of damage to the Arboretum, but there were at least 4 explosions post-fight.
Which is why the Requisitor showed up?
Exactly.
Probably.
And the daylight spell in the middle of the night, lighting this place up like a candelabra in the middle of the night outside of the city's gates.
It's like 4th of July.
At least you know Rafal knows how to entertain.
So, after...
we know what we're doing on Christmas now.
After saving all the kids, we saw evidence of Requisitors. We very quickly gathered up all the random items. Callum stuffed a whole bunch of them into his bag of holding. And we got all the kids and everyone together. Oh, I guess Verrader also went into a bag of holding.
Yeah, which Kevin was very against until I just told her to shut up and deal with it.
She didn't want the body disappearing like the last time. Got it.
But it wasn't the bag of corpse storing; it was the bag of holding.
Still,
That's
I
fine.
understand. Understand the logic.
And Cognar was still outside, and ended up like saving. He gave us just enough time to sneak away. We had to.
So Cognar is destroyed at the Arboretum.
Yeah, we don't know what Cognar's ultimate fate is, but he.
You guys heard him fighting in the distance at those front doors still while you guys were sneaking out. That's the last you heard of Cognar.
How many bodies were outside around the robot?
We didn't. I don't think
we didn't go that way.
Okay.
So since Callum had helped build the thing, he knew some of the ways to get out that were kind of hidden from view, and we eventually found our way into the sewers. In the sewers, we got down there and finally got to a decent flow, and Callum took 2 rowboats off of his cloak of many things and threw them in the stream, and got everyone in boats, and we pulled ourselves downstream to a safe unloading place.
What, you didn't have any silver?
What do you mean?
Oh, you didn't know Callum.
Yes,
Aha.
no.
Wait.
Bingo.
Where's the bingo card? We have to fill Callum in.
Silver floats in this here river.
Well, we probably had some silver coins. I don't think that would have worked very well for trying to get everyone out.
It would have been a valiant effort.
They work like life vests if you throw enough out.
Just hold on to Kevin. She's got 68,000 of them.
In case of emergencies, she can be used as a flotation device.
Use Kevin's purse.
She'll fight you,
Like a turtle.
but it might work.
I'll remember that for next time.
Just flip her upside down.
Yeah, Agrimar famously made a silver boat for us once, is why I brought it up.
Well, once we got all the kids and everyone out, we got a cab, and I think everyone kind of stuffed themselves into the cab, and the same cab driver who took us out there was still waiting for us and took us back.
So you clown card it with all the kids?
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Julie's very persuasive.
Was Shelby one of the kids?
Yes, we found her.
All right, I don't feel any remorse for killing Verada.
You shouldn't.
As we got back into town, Callum slipped off the back of the cab and went and did his own thing.
As he does.
Yep. And then everyone else ended up going back to the inn. I think the kids kind of dispersed before that.
No, we offered to let them stay the night at the inn.
That's right.
Good. I was gonna say, you're traumatized and you just sent them back into the street?
They have a couple of warehouses.
Shreve's cook him a hot meal.
And I think Summer will probably understand what happened at the end better than I would. It's like, I know what happened, but not a lot of it necessarily made sense to me.
So how did Shreves almost get set on fire?
We're getting there.
That's my fault again.
Where was Bickerstaff? That's what I want to know.
Sleeping.
When we got there, Nari went to open the doors to the inn, and they were locked, weren't they?
They were not locked, but there was a brick missing from beside the front doors that was interesting. And
that's right.
Because that's the brick that he took that had.
And upon pulling open the front door of the Phoenix Feather Inn, she set off a trap that was inside.
There's a bitch.
Where there was several vials of oil had been dumped out nearby the bar at the back of the inn, and Shreves had been tied to the bar countertop. And as those front doors opened up, a crossbow bolt was fired through flame and ignited the grease fire that Shreve was inside of.
I remember that Nari ran in to get Shreves out of there.
The party managed to save Shreve before the round where he would have taken fire damage. And so they were able to extinguish it.
How much HP does Shreves have?
Like 4.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I remember because I was like half asleep, and Ryan's like, "What is Nori doing?" And I like woke up, and I'm like, "I go in there and I get Shreves out," and then I took double fire damage because vampirism. And I was
you're vulnerable to fire.
That's why shouldn't have all those explosions. Good thing none of them got me.
Didn't know that.
Then Thule went upstairs to check for more traps, which Kevin's room was trapped.
Shocker. You did find one more trap upstairs, but you guys diffused those traps and kind of settled in for the night.
But then a Requisitor showed up across the street.
A Requisitor, showed up across the street.
Most of the party settled in for the night.
Kevin and Nari took care of that, but
what do you mean took care of it? Specific.
No. The Requisitor pussied out and left.
Wait, what did we do?
Kevin spied somebody looking at the inn from across the street. They saw them garbed in some purple armor, and Kevin's first instinct was to open fire at them. She hit successfully.
And Nari's first instinct was to climb on the roof, go across the alleyway, and drop behind them, all Batman-like.
Oh, cool!
Try and block off his route of escape.
Look at me go!
And so, while being attacked with his escape route cut off, he teleported out of there.
I don't remember.
Wait, so did anyone think to ask how they knew it was us?
They probably just saw another explosion go off at the end.
If I remember correctly, I think Nari and Kevin heard two Requisitors talking about something, but I don't know what it was. When we were still in the Arboretum.
Yeah, as we were sneaking out.
That seems like pertinent information.
They probably followed the giant robot, would be my guess.
You heard combat happening with the large golem outside of the doors. The conversation, I think, was more to allude that they are indeed Requisitors that were arriving at the Arboretum, rather than any sort of, we know it's them because XYZ.
That doesn't explain, though, why there's a Requisitor.
You have no idea why there was a Requisitor watching the inn.
I'm sure it's in my super
us.
Well, I mean, we can assume, and this is a good on the player's part, right? They have to have somebody physically watching us because they can't scry on us in the inn.
Yeah.
Well, that, and we went up into their house and was like, yeah, we don't like the way you run things, and then we walked out.
We were like, knock, knock, bitch, open up.
Well, we also are the ones that killed Severus DeVere. Like, let's be honest. So
technically, we did not kill Severus DeVere. The Golden Lotus killed Severus DeVere.
You know what, Summer? You are 100% right. That is how that worked. You're right.
We killed a possessed.
That's all we did.
Probably. We don't know the magic behind it. Probably
it's
possessed Severus DeVere. And now we have his soul.
I wish I knew the magic behind it. I can't believe we lost that body. I can't believe we lost that.
Well, we have his soul.
No, I'm not talking about Severus DeVere's body. I'm talking about
the Doppelganger.
Oh, the Doppelganger.
I can't believe we lost that fucking body. Oh.
Why didn't we check the... Oh my god. It's way too late to do this now. Why didn't we check the stone on the tiefling when we had her?
We still have her.
No, technically Phelan has her.
We could go get her, I guess.
Or we don't know if Phelan actually got the bag back.
Yeah.
I mean, we can make a trip to Phelan's house and put the three...
Well, it doesn't matter. We can't talk to the fucking corpse that we needed to talk to.
The most important one.
Oh... That stupid armor was a piece of ecstasy, and we just threw it away.
That's right. We got to go to hell. All right, what happened next?
So next,
everyone went to bed. Everyone went to bed except for Kevin. She stayed up all night watching over Verotter's body, and then she was basically locked into her room by Nari.
Yeah, the next morning, Callum shows up. Zara's still awake. Everybody else has been sort of taking shifts, but Zara just refused to go to sleep. She was completely zonked out, but still conscious.
Okay,
and Nari forced her to go up to her bedroom, where she decided to set up watch out of her bedroom window, and then fell asleep in the chair.
Okay, so we got a long rest.
Yes.
Yes. You guys all did. Kevin took a point of exhaustion.
Because that is relevant.
And then
And
Thule came downstairs and started talking to Agrimar about a certain letter. And
then he ran off in the kitchen to get biscuits.
yep. As Nari and Callum were trying to like, oh, hey, we got stuff to do over there. He's like, oh, I'm going to go get biscuits now. Do. And the conversation.
I just want to know what that conversation was so bad.
You did. You heard the entirety of it.
Nari may have.
It was basically Thule telling Agrimar that she very much cares for him, and then he ran to get biscuits.
And that he's an idiot.
Oh,
and yeah, that he's an idiot, almost getting himself killed.
It's true.
Sorry, my better half was talking to me about something. What's up?
Yes, she was.
You're being given that.
It was basically that.
That's correct. Continue.
Share with us why you're such an idiot.
Lucas just reenacted more or less what happened.
Perfect.
That was perfect timing.
Oh, and Agrimar had a weird dream. Like sleep paralysis, so sometimes shit.
Of a box?
Of a box.
Oh, yeah, the box dream. That was so creepy.
I honestly don't even know what happened there. I was too busy making sure Rachel didn't faceplant.
So that's essentially where we're picking up as the sun's rising over the city, and the first few sounds of the days are being had outside as a few market callers can be heard up the streets shouting out their wares. Wagons can be heard passing to and from on the cobbled streets outside. As one by one by one, the remainder of the party rouses from their slumber. And you guys find the day is at your whimsy. What would you guys like to do?
Rafal goes to
for the
his
group.
doctor's appointment.
Rafal walks out the door. What's up, man?
So of the whole bunch of stuff we picked up at the Arboretum, there's a lot of like semi-random little stuff, like 5 sets of studded leather armor, a regular leather armor, 15 daggers, 6 light crossbows. I assume we're good with like selling everything that's not, some sort of special magical thing.
Everything except for the daggers. Kevin's gonna want those.
Hold on. Pause. Actually, Nick would like to keep that stuff because Rafal wants to start recruiting people for the Order of the Phoenix, so he needs to be able to outfit them. So if we could, can we stash that stuff in the cellar or in like Agrimar's room somewhere safe? Since Agrimar's
There
like at
is
the
a cellar beneath Agrimar's room.
But yeah, like so maybe actually in Agrimar's room because he's like at the temple and shit. Like we could use Agrimar's room as like the armory.
Set up a small barracks in there.
Kinda. Are you cool with that, Lucas?
It's not my room anymore. Nari took it.
Nari's room now.
Really? Yeah, we can use it. I'll just steal a room upstairs.
Okay, cool. Because it's on the first floor, so that's what made me think of it.
Yeah.
Because I was also thinking it would be good to have like a contingent of the Order here, so that fucking what just happened with the traps and the burning and the Shreves thing and whatnot doesn't happen because people are here.
We could maybe hire Shelby and a couple of hers as the first ones.
I am thinking of doing stuff like I want to buy some of the buildings around the inn and actually like create homes for them and stuff like that. Yeah.
Plenty of abandoned places at the docks.
Yeah, like Rafal wants to start buying up dock property, basically.
All right.
Because who owns the West Docks? Because this is a poor area of town, so I doubt that it's like...
This is a portion... This stretch of docks is owned by Lord Montaigne Yeager.
Fuck that guy! God! everywhere.
He's still off doing his business.
And Rafal's going to buy up as much as he can around that area because he's obviously not going to get that from him.
So Rafal searches out his local real estate agent.
Right?
After his doctor's appointment.
After his doctor's appointment.
After getting a clean bill of health.
But yeah, I'd like to save all that gear in the armory. Perfect.
Should I fashion some form of secure door to the sewers so that way nobody can get in?
Yes. Yes, you should. And we should probably work on the front door.
But yes.
Hey, Ryan, can we make this a fortress?
I can start working on it.
You certainly can.
I don't want it to be like a stronghold, like from strongholds and followers.
Ooh, here's an idea.
Making the walls metal.
When we finally get around to dealing with the Requisitors, we just take their fort.
I mean, at that point, Rafal's probably going to be king, so...
You won't be king without getting through the Requisitors first, my friend.
That's what she said, after we take care of the Requisitors.
Oh, I thought you said that wouldn't matter because you'd be king first.
No. After that.
Oh, right.
Rafal, if you become king, can I look at your treasure chambers?
I'm going to go with a hard no on that.
I think that's the queen's job.
Guys.
No. It's Rafal's job to look at the
vampire. He's a vampire. I have to say no to this one. I may say yes in the future, but for right now, it's a hard no.
I am a reliable vampire. You even said you wouldn't kill me anymore.
I'm never gonna kill you. I might not let you continue to eat the people of MistHaven, but
You're just
I'm not
gonna be
kill
disappointed in your
I
existence.
wouldn't eat them.
But we'll deal with that at that point. We'll deal with it when Rafal's king. But my question is, where did Thule sleep last night? No.
In her own room, which I'm pretty sure used to be Naru's room.
So where did Agrimar sleep?
In his
Apparently,
room?
I woke up on the floor somewhere, and then I went into
He slept in the
kitchen.
He had to sleep on the couch.
Like an old man, I slept in my steel chair in front of the fireplace.
Agrimar, roll me a perception check.
Oh, God. 15.
15. Agrimar, you are stirred awake by some of the sounds of commotion, and you're a little bit kind of taken away from that conversation as you're focusing on the sounds outside. As you start to hear a bit of commotion and ruckus, a few shouts and a scream coming from further up Elm Street. And you can hear this kind of almost rhythmic pounding.
Oh, he's alive, my friends. He's alive. All right. Agrimar just bolts out the door. Be right back.
You leap from the double doors of the Phoenix Feather Inn, and you see, just strolling his way towards the inn is this semi-soot-covered metal and wooden golem, Cognar, just marching his way back down the street. There is no visible signs of damage to him, but it's clear from the soot that he was probably on fire at some point recently, but it looks as though the damage has been corrected.
I love my self-healing golem. Come here, you. And I'll grab a rag or something and wipe him down. And come inside. Come inside. So I have him follow me inside and say, everyone, my robot is safe.
Huzzah!
Hopefully he didn't cause trouble, but it looks like He beat the hell out of somebody.
And he just walked back here, so whoever he beat the hell out of possibly could have just followed him right to the Phoenix Veteran, and he just ran off to greet him.
Yes. He was set to protect the door that we entered into the Arboretum, so whoever was trying to get in there got what they deserved.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it's going to work out swimmingly.
I don't think I can actually communicate with, or the robot can communicate with me, right? He can only understand commands.
What do you try to do to communicate with him?
I don't, does anybody have, minor illusion, a way of projecting an image so the robot can see it?
I'm looking.
No.
What do you need to cast?
A minor illusion.
Nope.
I don't actually have minor illusion.
I used to.
But
I can learn it easily enough. I just don't have it yet.
I can't communicate with them then.
You can still try.
I have other illusion spells, but they won't be as helpful. That being hypnotic pattern.
Well, no. Perhaps. I'm trying to see
here,
if we can.
I'm going to hand him a pen and a piece of paper. There you go. He can draw, right? He has hands.
Yeah, yes. Very clumsy hands. I gotta find my accent. I haven't played in over a month.
I mean, unless like Cognar has thoughts. Other than that, no.
He can understand commands given in any language but cannot speak.
Can't speak, he can still write.
What's its intelligence?
What are you trying to ask it? We'll start with that.
Well, I was gonna see if someone could produce an image or look like a Requisitor or one of the Foforites that we've faced.
Oh, well, you should have said so.
I mean, I have disguised self.
Bam.
Oh,
Nari
perfect.
turned into a
could one of you
Requisitor.
Please look like a
Nari and
Requisitor?
Tulio like, ta-da!
Perfect. And I'll point to Cognar. I'll talk to Cognar and say, Cognar, if you would, please point to one of the people if they looked like this, who you beat up.
He swings a fist over at Nari.
Nari, what'd you disguise yourself as?
I'm a Requisitor. Yeah, no, because I have the disguise self, and then my clothes, I can pull on my shirt and make my clothes change to whatever I need them to be. So.
So one fist is swinging at Nari, and the other fist is swinging at Tuli.
This is wonderful. That means that he has faced both opponents and survived.
Well, I mean, we're both looking like Requisitors, so it may have only been one.
One of you looked like a favorite.
Oh, Tuli's a favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
Okay,
but Tuli's still wearing the purple armor of the Requisitors.
Mm-hmm. The Cambion male is the Requisitor armor?
I believe so.
Purple armor, you got
Cambion is devil,
here.
right?
The Requisitors are Cambion. They're all Cambions.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
Devils.
They're all devils.
Speaking of armor, does anyone care if Tuli takes Verader's armor?
Oh.
Should we see if there's a curse on it first before you try putting it on?
Yeah, I guess I'll cast Detect Magic on the armor.
All right. You get a number of items that do shine with some sort of residual magical energy from those gathered at the Arboretum, but the magic about the armor seems to reinforce the leather itself. There doesn't seem to be any additional properties aside from its protection.
Nope.
Well, if
no.
you get cursed, then I can remove it. Don't worry about it.
Hmm?
Nothing. I'm sure it's wonderful armor. So it appears that Cognar here has fought Requisitors. Hopefully that's not a problem.
I mentioned it's probably not the problem until he just walked all the way back home. I'm sure there may have been eyes on him and he just ran out to create him. So if the Requisitors ever had the question if we were involved, now they know for sure.
Well, I think they knew for sure because you fought the Requisitors last night, didn't you?
They were just standing outside. They may have only been suspicious.
I don't remember this blacksmith.
The one that was like super proud of all the things that she made, and if anyone else made
right,
something,
right,
she was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"It's
yeah.
trash."
Weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kept blaming her for every time that it missed. That it was, oh, it must have had your initials on it.
I was like, wait, I don't. Oh no, I definitely remember. Yeah. She made everything perfect. Okay, Agrimar maybe not so much because. I just remember hurting with stone.
Well, I will keep him close from now on. I think leaving him out for stealth missions is probably not in our best interest.
I'm just trying to think of our next move now that the Arboretum is potentially okay, but we have the Requisitors up our ass.
And we still have the whole Oracle thing.
Whole Oracle thing. I had a note somewhere that had our. And then we still have Lord Jaeger to deal with. She's going to usher.
But he won't be back for what, like 2 weeks?
I don't think he has ever actually gone. I feel like he's
They
doing
said
shaking
same
shit
time
around
next
the
week.
city. On Wednesday? Why is that? I think next Wednesday.
Yeah,
I don't
know. We're like 5 or 6 days from the meeting again in MistHaven.
And I assume that he'll be back for the opening of the Arboretum.
You guys did mention possibly setting up a trap for Lord Jaeger at the grand opening of the Arboretum.
We did?
What kind of trap and what kind of crime are we accusing this man of?
Well,
Being an
dealing
asshole?
with the Golden Lotus, maybe?
Because remember,
What proof do you have of that?
All we have is
trying
vacation.
on Jaeger, and he was expected on working
We
with
have
the
zero proof, guys.
Rafal's mother.
He's very clearly been an
Mandane
asshole.
Edia.
We have zero proof.
So we have this.
You know what? You know
Yeah.
who we can talk to? A dead person. We have the leader of the faux parade who apparently dealt with the Golden Lotus.
Okay, and then we also had the scrying that happened where he had the golden collar that you guys had when you guys were being, slaves.
He was.
Yeah,
he
but
was
that's all
working with the
hearsay,
slavers.
guys.
Yeah.
Like, we have
It was
zero
scrying.
evidence.
I know.
No, I know.
So,
That's what I'm saying.
So-
We need some evidence of wrongdoing
second.
before we just
Back up,
go.
back up. Do we have a modern legal system or do we have a medieval legal system?
We have a pretty modern legal system. We've actually been in the courts in this place, and they're pretty modern.
Okay.
I got put in jail for breaking curfew.
the city has a curfew?
Well, that could be modern or ancient.
I know, but when I
After the king's murder, there was a curfew about the city that Agrimar decided not to pay attention to.
Because Corbin Reed was stirring up shit, and so they put the city on lockdown.
Oh, whoops.
King's assassin was on the loose.
The Requisitors were just killing people, too.
DM, how much do you think a locking iron trapdoor would be?
How much are you willing to spend on one?
Sounds like gold would be proportional to the DC to open it.
Exactly how that works.
Yeah. Well, because I can use my artisan's blessing to create a object.
So how expensive an object would you like to create?
100 gold's worth.
So it sounds to me like 100 gold's worth is your limit.
That's it? That's all we're worth to
I
you?
feel like that's
If you want a more expensive lock, you're going to have to buy one.
No, well, I mean, that's my freebie. That's my freebie one. I can do up to 100 gold for free. If I want to use
secure a lock do
fabricate,
you
on the
want?
other hand, actually use a spell, then yeah, I can make a really bomb door.
I'll tell you what.
I would like the DC to be like 30. How much does that cost?
Okay, yeah. Tell me what I need to spend, and then I'll try to do it.
Well, what sort of lock are you making? By what means of creation?
So right now the hatch into Agrimar's room is just a wooden hatch, right?
Yes. It's a simple DC 10 lock on it. But you did move the bed on top of it, so it couldn't be moved. So it couldn't be opened without somebody probably hearing it.
A minimum of a 25, right?
So, like, theoretically, could you make, like, a thing that will only open if you have, like, the right command word? Like,
magically, yeah. But a physical construction, I think, is limited by Agrimar's magic.
Well, we could do a physical construction with a high DC along with the magical component of a lock. We would just have to figure out how to obtain something.
Yeah, that's arcane.
We can call our centaur friend.
So what kind of door would you like this trapdoor to have? And then what kind of lock would you like it to have? And any sort of bracings, bars, bandings?
I'm thinking a vault door in the floor. What do you guys think?
Like a literal vault door? Sure.
Like a literal vault door, inch bars, like that kind of thing.
So this won't have the 100 gold limitation?
Not the door itself, no.
Okay.
I mean, I was just thinking, like, if I can make an iron door for less than 100 gold, then I'll just use my channel divinity. If I need to make it complicated.
What does Agrimar like to do today?
Well, there's some things, people to talk to.
Would he like to do things, talk to people, or start working on his door?
I think it's important that we get this place secure, so he's going to work on the door. If anybody wants to stick around and talk and help, then they can.
Are there any preparations you need to make for this door, or are you ready to get started?
I need to get some... I'm going to make it out of steel, so I need to go get some raw coal.
All right. So Agrimar is seeking out a blacksmith.
I think I might be able to help with that just a little bit.
Agrimar, you hear through the message spell a small voice coming through your earring.
Oh, hello, Callum. That would be very beneficial. I would love any assistance that I could get. Actually, Ryan, I need raw
aren't I still at the inn?
You said
Last I heard, you hopped off the wagon.
He came back.
We came back the next morning.
Okay, I missed that part.
Oh yeah. I made breakfast
at the end of the last session. We were all at the inn
with Tuli and Tuli and Agrimar sitting across from each other at the table.
No, we left with you going to the kitchen to get biscuits.
I brought them back.
The very last thing that happened last session was Callum making a Zara burrito.
I thought he was. I thought he was tucking Kevin into bed.
Exactly, a Zara burrito or a Kevin burrito. However you want. We tucked her in properly and everything. Anyway, as you guys are discussing this door.
Yeah, I think I can help. And it might give me an opportunity to, take care of some of this superfluous equipment for us as well. I am sure that I can get in contact with the shop, and I will be able to find what I believe is called a lock of trickery. And you could incorporate that into your door. It would make it much more difficult for any thief, someone who does not have the appropriate key to open it. In fact, the magic makes the tumblers inside the lock move and shift anytime the correct key is not inserted. And as long as I'm heading back to the shop to try to track that down, I could also perhaps exchange any items that are not wanted. I have, of course, deposited the items that Rafal you wanted to use for potential recruits in the armory, but I
appreciate that. Thank you.
I assumed you would not want to give anyone a set of leather armor that happens to smoke consistently.
No, I don't think that's on brand.
Or any of the poisoner's kits.
Kevin might want those.
I mean, obviously, anything that anyone in the group might want to hang on to, I will absolutely do that. But there was at least a few things I thought perhaps would just, be exchanged. There's a set of fine clothing if anyone needs fine clothing.
No, I'm good. I have plenty of fine clothing.
And I have not really noticed anyone in the group using a bow and arrow. So I don't know how useful this shadow arrow or the grasping arrow or the banishing arrow might be.
Can Kevin put those in her crossbow?
She can certainly try.
Or can they be like converted into crossbow bolts?
I'll allow it.
Boom.
For the sake of cool ammunition.
Yeah.
I'm sure at the shop I could exchange them for bolts of the same type. But these unfortunately are arrows.
Well, that'd be helpful for Kevin. I'm sure she'd appreciate it. Where is Kevin?
She's sleeping. She was.
She had the late
all night.
She's going to wink at Callum.
Yes, she stayed up keeping watch all night for fear that someone would come in and steal Virader's body, or that he might somehow come back to life. I think she really has a pretty significant hang-up about this guy.
Yeah, she does. Honestly, Callum, you don't even know the half of it, which is pretty impressive considering what we just witnessed. But she's probably going to need some help with this paranoia that she has built up. Especially, I have a feeling that Kevin's going to have a really hard time letting this go. Do we call her Zara now?
I'm going to call her Zara from now on. It's a much prettier name.
Anyways, because Kev Zara, I don't know, Kevin the Giantess. Anyways, I have a feeling she's going to have a really hard time letting this go. And so we should probably help her through that. Because she's going to have a really hard time believing that they're actually gone, You're
running from something almost your whole life. It's hard to believe that you're no longer having to run.
Yeah. So she'll probably need some help with that.
But I will certainly do all that I can, and I'm sure we all will.
I'll certainly try. She doesn't really trust me right now.
Well, maybe now you could become her new enemy. How great would that be?
Oh, I think I'm already there.
Well, see, she's moved on just fine then.
Hey, frenemies are great things to have.
I don't think we need her to have enemies inside the group.
Frenemy?
But I'm not familiar with that term.
She's your friend and your enemy.
Frenemy. She only wants to kill me a little bit.
It's a healthy rivalry.
Oh, a rival. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, shall I go exchange those items? And would you want me to try to procure one of those locks?
I'm not 100% sure how many of those locks we might need. This is only one egress into the building. There's also the back door, the front door, and every window in this place.
True.
Well,
how much?
They are
take whatever cut of mine from whatever we just got, and you can use that.
Okay, I think Summer, you actually kind of counted up all the gold stuff, right?
No,
Ryan-
I didn't get any gold. I just have Marauder's items.
Ryan did us a solid, and he put the. I was going to say he put the loot tables in there. That's why I saw those. So we have quite a bit of gold to spend. So
Little.
Yeah, we got a lot from the.
I
bodies of
say
the
we use
Filthers.
this to reinforce the inn, because that's some bullshit. Like, nobody should be able to break into our fucking inn.
All right. Well, the armory would need at least 3 iron doors and 3 locks. Wait. Ryan,
You tell me how much that costs. I don't know.
Does the back door go into the kitchen or into Agrimar's room?
The back door from the kitchen goes into Agrimar's room. The door from Agrimar's room also goes out into the alleyway. There's 2 doors into Agrimar's room, and then the trap door that goes through the floor.
Okay, so we would need 3 doors and 3 locks.
Can you put us on the inn map, Ryan?
That might help, yeah, I guess, since I'm looking at it.
I'm trying to visualize, and I haven't
Rachel
seen the inn
here?
since last week, and I don't remember the inn.
Yes, I am.
What's up? Hey, do we call you Kevin or Zara now?
Both is fine, you know.
Well, that was the conclusion we landed on. So perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I've been listening to you guys when I came close to Picacho Peak, so I kind of know what's been happening. So.
Well, these are ultimates.
Oh, so you heard Rafal getting all mushy about Kevin?
Yes, the entire thing. I found my math card.
You're welcome.
All right, so we would need 2 doors. Trap door underneath the rug, and then the one leading into the room. And that would... Well, I'm not worried about the back door to the alley. Because if that door is secure, then nobody's getting into the room, right?
Are there any windows in Agrimar's room?
I don't think so.
All right.
And just the fireplace, but I'm sure we can put a grate in there. That's something that we can do. So now the question is, how much raw material do I need to make an iron door?
How much do you want to spend on these 2 iron doors?
What's the going rate for iron?
Well, to make steel, it's it's super cheap actually to make steel, because Agrimar has the means to do it with, as long as I have raw materials. I've got 100 pounds of iron once I go to the shop. 100 pounds of iron, 100 pounds of coal for 20 gold.
Roll me an intelligence check for Agrimar.
Certainly. Can I use my wand of Fox's Cunning?
Since I didn't hear you pull it out to make use of it for these doors, I'm going to say no.
That is 16.
16. All right.
I have used this process before. That's how I made Rafal's first plate armor, as I bought enough.
I was just going to say, it's effectively going to give these doors an AC of 19, and you are able to purchase a lock that has a lockpick DC of 22. Those locks cost 50 gold apiece. Or Agrimar can make use of his spell slots to craft them through magic. But the locks cost 50 gold for a 22 DC, and the door will have an AC of 19 as a steel door.
I mean, I think that's pretty good, and then we can put the magical lock on top of it if we need to.
Yeah, put it on top, because just point of order, Kevin can hit a 22 without rolling.
Yeah, I know. I mean, let's face it, we're not going to be able to stop that many high-level thieves coming in here.
It was just a literal thieves guild that broke in.
It's going to be good. That's exactly who we want to stop. So we should spend the money. We should spend more than 20 gold to stop them, is what I'm saying. We should spend more than 50 gold to stop them.
The construction of the door. I'm not talking about the lock. I'm making steel doors.
No, the door's fine. The AC is fine. I was talking about that lock. Like, that's
Agrimar, roll me 4d8.
Oh boy! All right.
Like, it's got to be higher than 22.
17.
Okay.
While Agrimar's out buying materials, Rafal would is Shelby still at the inn before Rafal leaves for the day?
She could be, yeah.
Okay, Rafal wants to talk to Shelby really quick.
You see her just kind of patiently waiting at one of the front tables of the inn, just kind of taking this moment, seating herself alone and in silence.
How many wharf rats were there total?
5 total, counting Shelby.
That's not too bad, but still, fuck you, Ryan. Kidnapping
5
kids.
wharf rats.
Fucking marauder, that son of a bitch.
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling adventurers.
We do like to meddle in a lot of things.
Rafal.
It's what we do.
And Kevin, actually, with your passive perceptions, since Agrimar's in the back focusing on the doors, he might miss this. But the two of you also spy opposite the occasional cry of a raven, and you spot this dark winged beast perched on the rooftop opposite the inn, just noticeably lingering and watching the front doors.
Gonna help Kevin get over this real easily.
I
Maybe
thought
that's
Kevin
why
was
she was
sleeping right
distracted
now.
so far.
Kevin is sleeping right now, but
Kevin, you hear a caw that bolts you awake. Your eyelids shoot open, and you hear that familiar sound.
so we don't know who that belongs to, right?
We do, though.
Who is
I
it?
feel like we
It's
do out
Callum's
of
now.
character.
Players do.
Players do, but the characters don't.
Doesn't do one character know?
Yep.
Who knows?
Because it's his now.
Well, what would you like to do about this raven outside of the inn?
Kevin would like to shoot it again, kind of open up the window, and if she can't, open up the window and take a quick shot at it. Because fuck these ravens.
Downstairs, you guys hear some scrambling in one of the bedrooms upstairs, the brushing of furniture across the floorboards. Rafal, you look outside and you see the windows on the second story open as a bolt comes firing out.
It's loading. It's trying. I accidentally left my laptop on for a
scrambling to load the bolts into the crossbow. The hatred and fury in her eyes.
Out of character, it now belongs to Callum.
Yeah.
Because it belonged to Marauder before.
Wait a
No,
second.
it belonged to Duncan before.
Okay.
There's now a raven that I'm not controlling that's like up on the rooftop.
There is indeed.
Damn it.
So it might not be Callum's.
Okay. See?
19.
Rafal, as you're closely inspecting this creature as it's perched, you see its eyes just watching yours, this unblinking, inky void that you just ever so slightly start to lose yourself in as this bolt comes flying across from the second story window, slams into this thing, and just almost kind of splashes like water across the roof tiles behind it. This black, inky substance just dissipates where the crow was a moment ago. The bolt sits into those roof tiles where it split them in two, but there's no sign of the raven. As that ichor just kind of drips down from the rooftop.
Does that ichor remind Rafal of anything?
You've seen this exact raven a few times in the city. Normally before something terrible happens.
Right. I saw it at the docks, and I saw it
in the Arboretum.
Arboretum, yeah. Well, see, that's what scares me, is because that the docks is a Golden Lotus thing.
You're starting to understand why ravens might be a bit of an omen.
The Arboretum is a Fae for Eats thing, so it's just like somebody's pulling the strings here.
Can someone analyze the ichor?
Kevin would like to make her way downstairs, hurriedly, putting on a boot or two, still in her armor. and just coming to a halt downstairs. Where's Verada? Is Verada here? Like, what's going on? Are we being under attack right now? Are the Inquisitor's back? What's going on?
Straight spit some coffee.
Kevin, Zara, shouldn't you be asleep right now? You've only been asleep for like an hour.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine right now. I'm really fine right now. But why was there? Come on. I just what's with the raven? Why was there a raven outside?
Since I'm close to the door, can I look outside and see?
Roll me a perception check.
Rafal will point it out to Nari. Like where the Ichor is.
So with Rafal pointing out, Nari, you can see where Rafal's pointing. There seems to be a bolt stuck into the roof tiles, but there's no sign of a raven. There's this kind of dark black puddle dripping from the corner of the roof, but no bird.
Can Kevin make her way over to the black ichor and try to collect it in maybe like an empty bottle so that way she can bring it back?
Kevin crosses the street and starts climbing the building.
It's just like one of those ink blot things where you look at it and it's like, you know what you see, because I kind of could maybe see a bird, but really it looks like a little bit of a like ink blot.
No, see, there was like a raven. I'm assuming it's a familiar, and Kevin shot it, and then it turned into that Ichor.
303.
So Callum's gonna follow Zara, and if she starts like trying to climb the walls to go get something, he's just gonna walk up them and go get whatever she needs.
DM, from having a familiar, no, that's
wrong character.
Wrong character.
But knowing of familiars, do they usually they just kind of disappear, right? Do they usually turn into like a goo?
Typically, they vanish back into the ether.
Oh, I don't think that's a familiar type thing.
You could roll me an Arcana check at disadvantage.
That's my favorite stat.
As Zara and Callum start making their way up the building opposite, they arrive at the rooftop where there's this puddle of ichor kind of in the gutter.
Classic.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nari, it's a sign of the end of days.
Oh dear.
What are you looking for?
What? Oh god, why are you... Nothing. I'm just looking around. It's been a really tense 24 hours, 48 hours. It's been a really bad week for me. So I'm just going to collect the goop. I'm going to bring it back because this raven has been around recently. And I don't know why, but it was on the docks and then it was in the Arboretum and it was somewhere else and I can't remember where it was. It's right here. I'm fine right now. And Kevin is going to attempt to kind of get some of the goop into the bottle. Does she see anything amiss around?
Roll me a perception check.
Okay, do I do that at disadvantage? Have 1 point of exhaustion.
With a point of exhaustion, I believe it is at disadvantage.
That's it.
skill
Yep.
checks.
Mm-hmm. True.
Skill checks and
Do
initiative.
you guys hear me in Callum's voice at the moment?
Yeah.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now,
Did
but it
before.
was before.
Uh-huh. Disadvantage, look at her go. 26. Oh, you okay?
Looking around at some of the nearby rooftops, you don't see any signs of movement, but peering over the edge of the building, there are several onlookers from the city down below that are very intrigued by the two people that they just saw cross the street and scale the side of a building. One of them making no obvious attempt to climb, but just simply walked up the side of the wall.
There's nothing to see here. Come on. We all have day jobs, don't you? Go on. And she's going to continue to collect the ichor and then climb on down and back to the inn.
All right. Feel free to add a vial of ichor to your inventory.
Callum just goes with her.
I'll be right back as they return to the Phoenix Feather Inn.
Okay, so you guys hear me in Callum's voice now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Wait, so did Ryan just say BRB?
Yes.
Yeah.
he did.
Oh, well, then I'm going to go get a drink too. BRB.
Okay.
Second break, everyone.
Keybinds on voice mod do not do what I think they do.
When you were talking to when Callum was talking to Kevin, you did sound like Callum.
Yeah, I've got a toggle switch that does the voice changer that I try to turn on and off. I was hoping there would be like a button I could push that would do it, so I didn't have
click
to
and
turn
hold
it on and
on
off.
Discord type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been really nifty.
And it probably has that. I just don't know how to do it yet.
Should we hold on to the magic items that we got, like divvy them out and whatnot, and sell what we don't use, or like?
Oh,
yeah. I figured we could just because that kind of looked. I don't really think anything is super necessary for me.
I would like the Knave's eye patch because that's pretty cool.
Already can disguise myself, but how to disguise is fun too.
I mean, if anybody wants the hat of disguise.
I mean, I can already do it without it, but hats are fun. So
hats are fun.
Pretty hat. I think that's the most important thing. What does the hat look like? Is it that big feather hat?
Yeah, it's purple with a feather on it.
That might be good. I mean, mechanically, it might be good for Kevin if she needs to get in and out of places.
Yeah, but
it would be good for her to be able to disguise herself. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Me too. Rafal wouldn't do that.
Do what?
Disguise
no, he just
wear a hat.
Yeah, he would.
But everybody see that
refuses to be anyone other than himself.
The gold, like the platinum, the gold, the silver, and the copper, when it's all totaled up, is 1,292 gold pieces each.
And Shreve gets half, right?
He was set on fire. He has to. I know.
I mean, otherwise, you guys are going to be hearing from his lawyers.
Is he his own lawyer?
He's your employer, and he was harmed in the workspace.
That sounds like a him problem.
Yeah.
With the hat.
Maybe we should give him no. Let's not give him a dagger. Never mind.
I thought we already did. I thought we did give him a dagger.
I thought he had a kitchen knife.
Well, he
guys took away the kitchen knives he got access to the last time.
Where are Cookie and Bickerstaff? That's what I want to know.
Apparently, it was their day off.
So Bickerstaff has spent more and more time away from the Phoenix Feather Inn and tending to family issues, mostly on the outside of town, not too far away from the Arboretum, actually.
Like over in Trails End.
I wanted to ask if we paid for if we got them a house and stuff closer to the inn, could we move his family closer to the inn so they could be safe?
They could live in one of the nearby properties if purchased.
This was a thought of mine because then Bickerstaff could also be at the inn and shit too.
Yeah.
Also, could you show me the calling unkindness item card? I am not big.
That's the tattoo I have.
Oh, okay.
That's what's making Callum a certified bad boy now, apparently.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it just magically attached to me.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
Yeah, I went literally the last session. I typed a few items I was interested in getting the information on to Ryan, and when I typed calling unkindness, he says over the voice chat, and as Callum walks over and gets near, this inky black shadow attacks him and shoots inside of him, and he sees a tattoo of a raven start to form on his arm.
Unkindness is the bird, so calling unkindness is calling the bird.
That's the item name for the magical tattoo.
So
I did not sign up
got
for this.
That from somebody probably who also has their own.
It's since I didn't sign up for it, but I do feel like it's making me slightly more likely to commit larceny.
I mean, technically, you were the one that killed Duncan.
Yeah, because he was the one that looted Duncan's remains. He was the first one that it lashed up at.
I would like the quick draw thing. That's something.
Can I talk to Shelby now?
Sure thing.
So Rafal will pick her up and put her let her up on the table and sit her up there. How old is Shelby now?
Isn't she
She's
like a
about
teenager?
She's getting there.
16, 17.
Then I don't do that. Wow, she's really that old now, huh?
Her mom's been dead for a while.
Damn. Rafal will say to her, hey, Shelby, I know things are pretty. I can't imagine how you must be feeling right now.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of let everybody down.
Hey, kid, like, I know that feeling. I remember a time where I thought that I had failed and that I couldn't be a leader because of that. And I just want you to know that what happened out there was my fault, not yours.
I feel like maybe if I'd have kept a better eye on everyone, maybe we could have fought back stronger.
You saw that, man. You saw how powerful he was. It wasn't your fault. Look, he almost took all of us out, Shelby.
There's only one of him, though.
Exactly. There's one of him and all of us, and he still almost killed me. So, again, I want you to know that you didn't fail and it's not your fault, okay?
It's just this. We saw him poking around some of the neighborhoods. Didn't want to report anything until we knew what was going on. Just in case it was nothing, you know?
I do. Hey, you want to hear something crazy? Kevin met him and punched him right in the face. Didn't know who he was.
No kidding?
No kidding. So I missed it too. We all missed it. So it's not your fault. But hey, how would you feel about moving in here and being safe? I know I asked you once before and you said no, but I think you and I both know that this is where you belong.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Sure. I believe I have advantage on these.
Is that only for nobleborns?
Don't I just get it from my I just have advantage on charisma persuasion checks from Crownfall.
All right, that's dope.
28.
She looks around, just kind of her eyes lingering on that back kitchen door and kind of looking at a spot behind the bar. Her eyes just kind of linger on these empty spaces. Like she's clearly remembering some of what she's experienced here. But she kind of looks around before her eyes drift back over to you. This place has changed a lot since then. Maybe it's time we change with it. World's different. We can always use more friends.
And I tell you my idea. And Rafal's gonna like just kind of explain to her his idea of like buying the land around the inn and like kind of turning it into an orphanage and like asking her if like she would be down to help him with that and like stuff like that.
She seems at first a little bit tepid, but the more you're explaining this, the kind of more she's getting into it and realizing it's going to be good overall for all the kids involved as well, and just bettering their life situation in general.
Yeah, he's like talking about like full bellies, you know, no more like warehouses, no more like getting snuck up on, stuff like that. Like, and yeah,
freshly fluffed beds and no more rotted straw.
yeah, exactly. And
What about feathered pillows? I heard the nobles sleep on them.
Hey, whatever you want, we'll make it happen.
And then she starts kind of pushing her luck a little bit, just kind of making some outrageous demands, like they can have whatever they want on the menu for free any time of the day, basically free room service. And she even tries to push her luck for drinking for free before she realizes that's maybe a little bit too much and goes back on that one. So that one she gives you.
Yeah, Rafal's like, wait, whatever cookie we'll make.
But she seems down for this.
Cool. Let's see. We have okay. So there's Kevin, Nari, Rafal. Do we have an extra room then upstairs? We do, right? This one that has 2 beds in it?
Yes.
Cool. Shelby and the Wharf Rats, right?
All right.
Sounds like a band.
Really good one. Like a punk band.
That's definitely a punk band name.
Yeah. Cool.
Plausibly be a ska band.
I mean, for what it's worth, this
But that would be
belongs.
worse.
I just want everyone to realize that this inn belongs to Shelby. So
It
You
does.
just gave away our inn for fall.
no.
That's technically not even an inn because all of the rooms are filled and we've never actually let anyone sleep here.
Yeah, we've kind of turned
Yeah, I
it
was
into a
about to
home more
point-
than an inn. But
What about the
about to
people
point
in the
that
cage
out.
sleep here?
I
Yeah.
mean, we could start moving into each other's
0 stars.
rooms, you know?
We
That's
could
already
share
You want to
happening.
be? Oh, I'm sure Kevin really wants to be roommates with
Just-
Julie.
I
In
was going to
case-
say.
For
I was going to
story's sake, for people that don't realize, when we first started this game, we came to this inn and met a ghost, and that ghost happens to be Shelby's mom, who is the former owner of this inn. So this inn actually technically belongs to Shelby.
Okay.
I don't know about that. No.
So all you got to do is take out this kid, and the inn is yours.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Shelby
very
was
easy,
related to the
apparently.
shop owner?
I mean, technically the inn is already ours, but that's because we snaked it from under her.
Aw.
Like taking candy from a baby.
How does Rafal feel about swindling a kid?
Look, he has tried to get this kid to live here multiple times. She didn't want to. He's finally successful. Don't get on my case.
Hey Ryan, random question. Is
What's up?
the magical tattoo, like, does it require attunement or anything?
It does not.
Okay.
It is attuned to you.
But with that, Rafal is going to go to his doctor's appointment.
All right. Taking anyone with you?
No,
All
I'm
right.
not.
Wow, Rafal's too good for us, apparently. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Haven't
mean,
you
he's
noticed that?
practically already said it once before, so
Did
Yeah,
I?
but it's digging the
he
dagger.
implied it.
Damn, Rafal is Jeff Winger. I may have thought it. You might have said it, but I didn't say it.
Rafal, how would you like to get to the...
Where is the
Checking
doctor's
the name.
office at? I
That's
don't.
where I'm
You
double-checking
told
the
me.
name
I
of.
just don't know where it is.
I don't think I labeled it on the city map.
It's the
don't
Sticky
think you did.
Mermaid in Old MistHaven.
The sticky barmaid. All right, so we're going to put
We're going to increase the property values for all the places around us. There are 2 Arcona's auction houses? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh,
you have
Lord,
to-
that one's
you have to
disguised
put
as
your
a
bid
church.
for an organ for a transplant.
Rafal is going to...
Oh, I know the church.
He is going to walk. He's going to just take his time. He's going to walk. I don't think he's going to use his horse or anything.
Okay. As you're making your way through the city, you pass by all sorts of common folk, just kind of paying you little to no mind as they pass by, as things are seemingly back to normal here inside of the city. It's been a long time coming, but there doesn't seem to be any sort of upset by the city criers as far as any news about explosives at the Arboretum. Everyone still seems to be pretty calm. Nobody's running around, nothing hectic happening. As you are making your way over towards the castle district nearby the Church of the Holy Trinity in order to speak with Dr. Thomas Wells, the Nicolas Cage looking gentleman.
Yeah, so Rafal will walk into... So, okay, has Rafal he's met this guy once, right?
You've met him a couple of times.
Okay.
Dr. Thomas Wells.
Yeah.
He's the guy who got you cookies inside of the kitchen castle.
Right, but he is not the guy that witnessed Agrimar's miracle. That's
that was a different priest.
That was our problem. We kept thinking it was the same
I thought
guy.
it was Nicolas Cage because he came with us.
That was the brother of the queen's right-hand lady that Agrimar showed his taint to.
Yeah, the lady we don't like. Right, okay.
So she is the queen's advisor. Dario Shante is the gentleman who witnessed Agrimar's miracle inside of Trail's hand.
And then this is Dr. Wells.
Dr. Wells is someone
else. They don't have labels, Ryan. That's the problem. No,
you don't have labels?
No, I don't. We don't see the
show to all the players.
There are no labels on them.
It's for this guy, and this person.
That's Linnea on the left.
Yeah, that's Trinia, right?
That make labels for you guys up here.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
hey, look. Labels.
That was updated forever ago, and I didn't realize it.
Reverence doesn't have his either.
Anyone else?
Rafalfelganger? No, I'm just kidding.
You didn't know his name.
No, that's why I was kidding. No, everyone else has theirs, it looks like. So yeah, Rafal's gonna walk in and just say, Dr. Wells, it's good to see you.
So you make your way up this grand stone staircase at the massive entrance, roughly like 30 to 40 foot wide doors at the front of this temple. And the doors are wide open, and inside is a roughly 12-foot wide rug that runs from the front doors all the way back to the altar inside of the church. You can see a number of priests going about their own business. Some are lighting candles, others are making rounds, doing their prayers. Others you can see scrubbing the floors. As you walk by, a couple of them near the front doors, just kind of rubbing the stonework with a few sponges. They look to have a few mops nearby. They seem to be about their morning rituals, just preparing this place for the day as you arrive. There are several stained glass murals across the way depicting heroics from ages long past, of heroes long since forgotten in their courageous, valorous acts on behalf of the city. And upon stepping in about 100 feet inside of this temple, you can see Dr. Wells seated at one of the few pews that is still set up inside of this large space. And he looks to be bowed, his head is bowed, and he's in the midst of his own silent prayer.
Okay. I mean, like, Rafal's been here many times, right? This is like where he used to come when he was a teenager, right?
Yeah, you probably went to worship here.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, like Rafal's gonna walk up and he's just going to he'll sit in the pew behind the doctor and he'll just kind of wait.
All right. You wait patiently for a few more moments before the head bobs back up and he starts to rise from his seated position. Oh, pardon, Rafal. I didn't see you come up.
I was trying to be respectful. Most people hear me coming, so but
I guess my mind was elsewhere.
I can understand. How are you, Dr. Wells?
I'm doing fine. The day has yet to show any sort of insincerity upon me yet, and so I find myself blessed with the light. I trust you slept well.
I slept all right. It was a bit of a late night. Long story. Mind if I tell you in your office?
Certainly. Are any of your compatriots going to be accompanying you?
Just me today.
Very well then. Well, if you wouldn't mind, as he stands himself up from the pew and gestures towards the back of the temple space where there's a couple of open archways that lead into back hallways where some of the offices and scripture rooms are.
Oh, really quick.
Yeah.
Did Rafal see any ravens following him while he was walking, or
only a perception check?
Because that seems like something I should be looking out for. Perception. Oh, natural one. No, he was busy.
You saw several birds swarming overhead. Some of them looked to be particularly shadowy seagulls.
Don't trust that bird. Don't
Trust
trust
no
that bird.
birds.
Don't trust that bird. Okay, so into the doctor's office, Rafal will go, and he'll take a seat.
Now then, as I understand it, you had some questions that you would prefer answered outside of the presence of the kingdom's court.
So to speak.
More discreetly, in lesser company.
Yes, I'm in need of information, and the Queen suggested that you might be able to help me possibly fill in some gaps in my knowledge.
She has updated me as to your current arrangement with the Queen. I am here to be of service in any way I can.
Excellent. So, the Order of the Phoenix has been trying to kind of make heads or tails of what happened. About has it been about a year now? About
Almost.
a year ago, with the Golden Lotus, and I'm just wondering how much have you found out about that group?
About the Golden Lotus themselves, I'm afraid, well, it's a bit tricky, you see.
Oh, yeah.
Reports have returned from across the seas about the Emperor's own hirelings that go by the name of the Golden Lotus, who operate in the shadows on behalf of the Emperor. There has been no such reports of their movings or disruptions in their usual activities. And he lowers his voice, stands up, and makes his way over towards the office door, and then just gently closes it, just in case, before returning. No, all good. This is the first question asked, so he's going to make sure the door is closed.
Yeah.
It seems as though somebody is trying very strongly to point the finger towards our neighboring friends across the ocean, but it seems that the finger is lacking any sort of substantial evidence behind it. A strong suggestion of these actions is like to press the crown towards war if it's deemed that Averston is indeed responsible for the attack upon this kingdom, upon the city, nearly a year ago. But I'm afraid, without any sort of significant evidence backing up the claims of the Golden Lotus, there's been nothing substantial, nothing that can appear before Lady Zenderhelm at the court, nothing to present them in their absolute guilt, if that makes sense. No trace of their on. And so it's difficult to say whether or not the Emperor has any misgivings with the activities occurring, or whether or not someone's simply pointing the finger at the Empire and trying to start a war.
Who do you think in MistHaven benefits most from a war?
Well, to be most blunt, I believe most of the noble families in control of the docks would benefit severely from an increase in trade, weapons, and armistice. Not to mention supplies that would be needed, fortifications, and such. I think that many of the noble houses would have the most to gain from such activity, but only for a short while. For the longer any sort of war were to last, the longer the nobles risk themselves to the populace of the common folk.
Also, what happens to the monarch if they lose that said war?
Precisely. They prefer to keep things acting in their cage of what they know, rather than dipping their toes into the pool of the unknown. These merchantmen always prefer to work with concrete numbers, rather than playing around in the realm of possibilities.
Speaking of the realm of possibilities, do you know the whereabouts of do you know about the dealings of Lord Jaeger?
I have heard some whisperings of late. As I'm sure you are aware that since the Arconis' successful expedition to the east, when they returned with a mapped route upriver to the dammed walls of Valyria, trade negotiations were sparked at first, but it was only the Arconis attempting to make deals with the Duergar. They returned unsuccessful in their efforts, but being unable to afford the sort of treasures, resources, and minerals that the Duergar lorded over. From what I understand, they attempted to liquidate a large quantity of their assets, calling in many favors, auctioning off percentages of their wealth, but was still unable to accumulate enough interest for trade by the dwarves of Valyria. And it wasn't soon after that word of, their attempted liquidation started to tie about with rumors of some of the artifacts they were auctioning off being falsities, caused a serious stain upon their reputation from among their peers. From the outside, one would see the noble house as flailing and desperate, if not descending into poverty. So from what I understand, they brought Lord Jaeger into their trade talks with the Duergar in order to provide the combined resources of both houses to reduce their own investment costs in this endeavor and to re-enter trade negotiations with the Valyrians.
Out of character, when we scried on Jaeger, he was getting something from the dwarves, right?
They gave him something.
Yes, two items.
An eagle mask and a sword.
A Kopesh, to be exact.
Yes, an Akaish Kopesh.
Okay, so just out of character, Dick needs to process things out loud. Okay,
Sure.
so what he basically just told me is that House Arconis is going broke, and so
House Arconis is selling everything they can in order to make their own wealth look substantial enough for the dwarves to want to trade.
with them, not with
From the
Lord
outside, it looks like they're going broke. Like they stopped spending, they stopped throwing balls, they stopped throwing auctions, they started selling fakes.
They're throwing everything behind trading with the dwarves.
Exactly, because if you can pierce that barrier, that's almost endless quantities of precious metals, impossible gemstones, and whatever endless discoveries that they've made throughout their centuries of mining accessible to you.
Hate those guys. Damn them for having such like vast wealth. Okay, and so then they couldn't do it, and so they got Lord Jaeger, and so because they have about 50% of MistHaven's wealth between the two of them.
Exactly. Their combined efforts is more substantial.
Which is going to give them more money than the monarchy. Shit.
It's so funny because right before you asked that question, I was looking at the map and I was like, oh, who else is ties to Valyria? Oh, the Arconis. And I just wrote down Arconis might be involved with Jaeger. Right before you talked about that.
You made it true.
Okay. Okay, so back in character then. All right. So then along those same lines, did you know anything about a group operating in MistHaven called the Fae-Therites?
As I understand it, there was a guild of rogue pyromancers setting ablazes about old MistHaven while the plague was going on. As I understand it, the Emerald Enclave took care of them as they popped up.
Okay. Yeah. They were also impersonating members of the church and burning up areas inside of the city proper during the plague as well.
They were impersonating members of the cloth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This
Have you ever
is
seen
news
those
to me.
large pillars of fire? They were impersonating the priests in order to incinerate areas. Right?
Roll me an insight check.
I'm pretty sure I remember we figured that out. 13.
He looks uncomfortable with what you're saying, but remains silent.
Anyways, they were led by a man named Verrotter, who was working with Lord Jaeger, which I find disturbing, seeing as, well, have you heard about what happened at the Arboretum last night?
What happened at the Arboretum last night?
Rafal's gonna just kind of fill him in, like, on the details, because, like, there's nothing wrong with anything that happened last night, really.
Just leave out the robot fighting the Requisitors.
Yeah, so Rafal's just gonna kind of fill him in on what happened. And kind of he's going to just start connecting the dots for like, okay, so like this guy, Marauder, he, kidnapping children, doing all this stuff, crazy stuff, looking for something. And he's going to connect that to, fuck it. He's going to tell him about the blackmailing his mom and the connection to Lord Jaeger and all like, he's just going to connect all the dots for him and see if that helps fill in anything from his information.
You see, he is very patiently listening.
Please show me yours.
Yeah, he's very patiently listening in detail as you explain as much as you are able effectively. He's keenly listening to these details, and you see he's got 100% of his attention focused on you. He's not distracted by anything else, and he seems to be taking in a majority of this as if for the first time. As you're filling him in, you see him nod like he's connecting a couple of dots in his own storyboard.
Yeah, basically Rafal's trying to help show him the meta picture of like what happened with the Golden Lotus and what is continuing to happen. Yeah, that's basically what he's trying to do.
Whether by design or whether through its unraveling.
Yeah, basically trying to figure out like what is connected and what is coincidence and like,
That's
yeah,
a lot.
Yeah,
With
it's one of the
all
reasons
due
I wanted to seek
respect,
this meeting.
The church does have a request to make of the Order of the Phoenix as well. As we have come to understand it, one of the members of your association is of the undead persuasion. Are you aware of this, and are you under their influence or control by any means?
I thought we kept that pretty well under wraps.
I thought it was going to be about me. I'm so relieved it's about Amanda.
And he's just, again, focusing daggers on you, looking. You can tell he's effectively insight checking Rafal.
Oh, no, I get it. Yeah, I don't think Rafal's
to see if you're charmed by a vampire.
Yeah, no, Rafal's just gonna tell him. All right, if he already knows. Hold on, I'm just trying to decide how much I want to tell him. You know what? If he already knows. Rafal? Okay, I guess I want to do an insight check on him. I want to know, do I think that I can trust him?
All right.
Oh, low, 12.
He appears to have hostile intent. I mean, like, you can clearly read, it's a little bit more straightforward in his intent. As a member of the church, he views this kind of like an abomination, kind of like in your guys' first conversations after it immediately happened to Nari. Like, he seems to be on the other side of, you don't work with undead, period. It's an abomination against what is and what should be. It extends life beyond that which is natural, and it is effectively an unholy abomination, and it goes against everything that the church stands for. And so that's kind of where he's coming from, trying to figure out if you are under the whims and whimsy of a vampire and whether or not he has anything to fear coming from you or your association.
No, I get that. Rafal is going to be a little honest with him. He's going to say, I